Yeah, thank you.
This is Frank Ivan. He's our special park uses coordinator.
Okay.
And he's going to issue you a permit for being here.
Okay. Thank you.
Basically, it's just asking for some generic information here, a list of 8 terms and conditions that apply to your use of the park here, and a signature stating that you've received it. And we just hope that you would abide by the terms and conditions of the permit.
Okay. I have no problem with abiding by the terms and the conditions.
Okay.
I don't think I need to sign a permit.
Okay. Would you like a copy of it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, just note on there that before you separate it, just note on there that what's the name of your group?
We don't have a name.
I'll call it Friends of Animals, since that was the first.
We're not Friends of Animals.
Just for my own identification.
We're not Friends of Animals. You'd be inaccurate in putting Friends of Animals.
Okay. I'll put,
we are not part of Friends of Animals, and I am not a member of Friends of Animals.
Just put Miss Bessie and that decline to sign. That's fine.
Are you going to be going to everybody?
Yes. That way you have a copy, we have a copy. Like I said, I don't want this to be...
your waters. You're losing your water.
Like I said, I don't want this to be a contentious thing. You guys have a right to be here. We also have a right to have rules. So, this covers us. Any questions? If you have any questions, I'll be in the area all day.
Actually, I don't accept this. I don't think I need to. I don't think I need a written permit.
You've had them. I issued it to you. You can throw it in the trash and do anything you like with it, okay? I just want to record the fact that you've been advised of what the terms and conditions are for assembling.
Is there a particular problem that you have with the
I believe the Constitution gives me the right to be on the sidewalk. I don't need to fill out or have a permit issued to me to express my First Amendment right.
Well, that's...
so I actually refused the permit.
That's certainly something you can take up with your senator or congressman. You have that right. According to the Code of Federal Regulations, we have to issue permits. We have rules about public assemblies. This is just advising you of those rules.
The CFR is not created by our congressman. It's created by the Park Service, and there's no reason, there's nothing in the Constitution that requires you to have the permit. In Washington, D.C., they don't have a permit requirement under the National Park. You don't have to have a permit.
Washington, D.C. has special legislation that authorizes them to not require a permit for groups of less than 25, but they're the only park that has that. All other parks in the Park Service are required to abide by the Code of Federal Regulations that requires a permit, so that's why we do that.
And like I said, ma'am, you're welcome to
There's no law that requires someone to get a permit to express their First Amendment right. There just isn't. You can claim that there is, but there isn't. There's no law that requires
The purpose of this is just to advise you then of what you're permitted to do and not do. I mean, it's to your benefit as much as
That's
it is
fine.
to ours,
I understand you have the right to put conditions. Okay. I don't think you have the right to force people to petition the government every time they want to express their First Amendment right, which is what you're doing by requiring a permit.
This isn't a petition. We give this to everyone. You don't have to petition anyone. We're providing
when you have to fill out a permit, you're asking the government's permission to. It's a permit. You're asking the government's permission to do what the Constitution already
provides. And we give the permit to everyone who asks for it.
But we don't need to ask permission. With the First Amendment gives us
premises.
The First Amendment gives us the permission. And we don't need to ask you for it.
Well, that's fine. Well, we're just telling you we have certain rules to protect everyone's right to express themselves.
I think I think your rules of requiring a permit to express my First Amendment right is unconstitutional.
Well, the rules that are put forward in this permit have to do with public safety and they have to do with the ability for the Park Service to perform its mission.
That's
it has
fine.
nothing to do with
You
First
can
Amendment
impose
rights.
your conditions.
It
You
doesn't
just
have
can't
anything to
require
do with
me to fill out a permit every time I want to express my First
All we're
Amendment
doing
right.
is we're advising you that in terms of public safety and our ability to do our interpretive programs, etc., that's all these rules are saying. It doesn't say anything about First
So I
Amendment.
don't need to fill out a permit then? I don't need to have a permit to do my First Amendment activities?
You do need a permit.
But why?
According to the CFR. I don't write the CFR. I'm just here telling you the CFR 251 is what we have to go by. And
Well,
like
now,
I said,
if it gets turned over, if this legislation is passed to exclude the need for a permit for small public gatherings, then we'll abide by that. But we're mandated to abide by the Code of Federal
The
Regulations.
Code of Federal Regulations does not say that one person expressing their First Amendment right requires a permit. There's nothing that says that. There's nothing in the CFR that says that. So the fact that you're interpreting it that way to impose this
All public assemblies.
is a violation of my First Amendment right.
Okay,
You're not requiring these people walking down the street to do it. Public assembly is not simply standing a sign. It's coming and expressing your First Amendment right in any way. So
you're absolutely right.
there's no reason I need a permit any more than these people walking down the street need a permit.
You need a permit because we need to explain to you the rules.
You can
According to public
impose
safety
the rules
and
without giving me
ability-
without requiring me to do a permit. Philadelphia has rules also. Philadelphia
Everyone
has
has
laws.
rules.
There's no reason
Society
you don't
has
have to have a
rules.
permit to express my First
Society
Amendment
makes
right.
laws and regulations to protect everyone's rights,
And
and that's all
you're
we're trying to do.
certainly-
You
but-
have a perfectly fine right. I understand there's other people that have rights to counter your.
I don't need
your
to fill out a
message. It doesn't
permit
matter.
to express my First Amendment right.
Well, that's your opinion.
That's the Constitution.
It's your opinion. We have.
It's what our forefathers
we
died
have
for.
the Code of Federal Regulations to go by.
The code of the CFR does
you're
not
certainly-
require
You are certainly
a person
welcome
to fill out a permit to express their First
contact
Amendment
your
right.
congressman to have the Code of Federal Regulations revised to
What
meet
will happen
your.
if I don't get a permit?
All we're telling you is that, according to the CFR, we have to protect public safety. I can't imagine you would argue that public safety is not one of the paramount issues that we have to deal with here.
What will happen if I don't get a permit? I refuse it.
We are going to work with you to be here to give your public display. We're going to work with you up until the point where public safety or our agency function is impacted.
But you're not answering my question.
You don't-
What will happen if I'm refusing the written permit? I mean, am I going to get
You're
it?
still subject to the contents of this of the permit.
Okay,
It
but
doesn't matter
the fact
whether
that
you
I'm
accept it or
refusing
not.
a written permit, is that going to result in any sort of ticket issued against me or arrest or anything?
No.
Okay.
We've issued the permit. You've refused it.
Okay.
You're still subject to the terms of the permit. The fact
Okay,
that
and
you say, I don't
gonna
need your permit. Well, that's up to you, but you're still subject to the terms of it. And the terms are if you endanger public safety or if you impact the way we can do our business, which is inside that building around the park, we're all good.
Okay.
That's all. That's really all we're doing here. We're going to work with you guys so that you guys can continue to do your thing. That's
Well,
fine.
I can tell you that we are going to continue to refuse the written permit because we think it's unconstitutional.
And we're going
So-
to continue to issue it. If you refuse it, that's up to you. But you're still subject to the terms, which, like I said, have to do with public safety and the ability of us
And
to do
it's
our
not
thing.
the terms that are the problem, it's the fact that you're requiring us to have a written permit to express our First Amendment right. That is the problem I have.
Well, that's
Because
above
we
my
just have
pay
a
grade,
difference
man.
of opinion then as the interpretation of the Code of Federal Regulations. It's something we're not going to resolve between the two of us.
Right.
So
Okay.
we are certainly supportive of your First Amendment rights, and we don't want you to think that we're not. We're just trying to abide by the rules and regulations that we have to here. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.